Hello, everyone, and this is my presentation on the film Before Sunset. Here is a still shot from the movie of the two characters, Jesse and Celine, and this is a picture of them while they are walking around and talking in Paris. The cast and crew. This is directed by Richard Linklater, one of my favorite directors. Produced by Richard Linklater and Anne Walker McBay. Cinematography by Lee Daniel. And the screenplay is by Richard Linklater and Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, who are the film's two stars. Themes in this movie: love, connection, frustration, obsession, and most importantly, time. And I love in general what Richard Linklater does with time, as I'll discuss in a second. This film was shot in Paris in 2004 in present time. The two characters, Jesse and Celine, reunite with each other after spending an evening together 9 years earlier, and they walk around Paris and discuss their lives. This movie is 80 minutes long and it's shot in real time. The mise-en-scene in this movie: most of the film consists of the two characters walking around Paris talking. The director, Richard Linklater, uses eye-level, symmetrically framed shots of the two characters, Celine and Jesse, played by Julie Delpy, and Ethan Hawke, conversing with each other. There are numerous shots that go on for minutes at a time of the characters walking and talking, which adds to the continuity of this movie, as does the film being shot in real time. The natural dialogue and style of this movie makes the viewer forget they are watching a movie and feel fully immersed in these characters' lives. And finally, why Richard Linklater and Before Sunset are worth your time. Before Sunset is one of my favorite films from one of my favorite movie trilogies that includes Before Sunrise, the first film, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. All three films are shot 9 years apart, but Before Sunset is unique to the other two films because it's shot in real time. Part of the reason I chose this film is because I love how experimental and original Richard Linklater is as a writer and filmmaker, particularly in how he deals with relationships and the concept of time. In his film Boyhood, he shot the movie over the course of 12 years to show a boy growing up, and in his cult classic film Dazed and Confused, the entire movie revolves around high school students in the 70s driving around and talking. Doesn't sound very exciting, but it's a really good movie. His approach to filmmaking relies on creating realistic characters and capturing real life through film. He's the only filmmaker that I can say that completely makes me suspend disbelief while I'm watching his movies. I feel like I know the characters, Jesse and Celine, and I care about their relationship's fate. Another thing that makes this movie and its characters, Jesse and Celine, feel so authentic is that Linklater wrote the movie with the film's two stars, Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke. The actors felt so connected to their characters from the previous film, they said that the dialogue came out organically when they wrote the scenes together. Both actors were able to incorporate their own feelings and experiences into the material. Something that makes this film so special to fans of this trilogy is that the first movie, Before Sunrise, had an ambiguous ending. After meeting on a train in Vienna and spending one night together, the young Frenchwoman Celine and American man Jesse agreed to meet in Vienna again 6 months later without exchanging any of their personal information. Fans of this movie spent most of the decade speculating on the fates of Jesse and Celine's relationship. In a way, this made the movie belong to the audience. The act of making Before Sunset completely changes Before Sunrise. We now know what happened 6 months later in Vienna and who the characters become as they age. Before Sunset is filmed in real time over the course of 80 minutes. Jesse and Celine have been fantasizing and obsessing about each other over the course of the past 9 years and have only a short time to talk before Jesse is supposed to catch a plane home from Paris to New York. The frustrations and urgency of the two characters to say what they want to say to each other and to be honest about the unhappiness in their lives make this movie emotional and tense. I related to the frustration both characters feel about their mistakes, the fact that they have both become more cynical with age and are disappointed with their lives. Jesse and Celine talk about taking their connection for granted and how they both believed they would have numerous meaningful relationships in their lives, but now years later realize how rare and genuine lasting romantic connections with another person is. The movie emphasizes the importance of relationships, love, and connection, and how they impact our lives. So it's a really great film, and I highly recommend it. I recommend watching all three in order: Before Sunrise, Sunset, this movie, and then Before Midnight, 9 years after this film, which is a very different movie as well. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.